Welcome to the Eric Tries Too Hard podcast, episode 128. My name's Eric. I am here with one of my guests. We might have others joining us, but probably not. Who the hell knows? Sergio Marzatelli, regular on the podcast. Welcome back, Sergio. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. What's up with you?
I'm doing very, very well. I wanted to have this podcast. A couple hours ago, I hit up everybody, all the regulars from our podcast, and just wanted to say, like, yeah, if anybody wants to jump on, you were available. We'll see if anybody else jumps on. But, like, I had a bunch of comedy stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about, specifically you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're able to come on. So thanks for coming on, and we'll see how this goes. We'll talk about whatever. And Sergio, if you want to bring up anything in the world, I don't give a shit. We'll talk about it.
It's all good.
But yeah, so the first off is that, Serge, you are coming down to Baltimore to be on my Auto Bar show, the second Auto Bar show, which I guess is Wednesday, August 10th.
Yep.
I'm good at this.
August 10th.
Hey, look who it is. Sergio's neighbor.
Matt Cerniak, what's up, brother?
I mean, I'm your neighbor now? Wow.
I guess, compared to him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Matt, how's it going?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. Sorry, I got a weird message from somebody and I got concerned. But yeah, me and Serge were just on a roll, and you joined and you derailed the whole thing, which is fine.
Well,
which is fine.
Well, you
We'll
know
be
what?
okay.
You know what? Hey, that's great. I want to talk about that weird message you got, because that didn't derail anything.
Well, anyway, this is nice. We actually have a group. Whatever. We'll just jump right into it. So, as I was saying, Serge is coming down to host a Baltimore show that I've got.
That. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love your voice.
Hey,
I miss your
any
voice.
chance in the near future or later future I can get down for a show down there? Because that'd be cool.
If you're willing to come down here, okay. So that's what I was leading into.
Bullshit.
Unless something horrible goes wrong, horrible goes wrong. I've been drinking. It's fine. I had like
So am I.
I had 2 beers, but those are the only 2 I've had in like a handful of days. So my tolerance
Well, you're
is
stupid.
yeah. So so I've got 3 rooms that, again, unless something really bad happens, is been letting me book shows monthly, and I should hopefully have a 4th pretty soon. So I've got time. I've created a lot of stage time recently, and Matt, if you are willing to come on down to the Maryland area, I will gladly throw you on the show. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you gonna be able to pay Matt my rate of $500?
I don't want no rate.
Listen,
Serge. Double crabs.
Serge. Yeah, right. I'll throw you some crabs. You know. Serge, as everyone knows, I'm paying Serge somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 to come host this show. It's a little excessive, but it's worth it because I like Serge. But Matt, I can definitely, I can throw some stuff your way, and that's the beauty of some of these places I've been booking, is that they're paying, some in food, some in booze, some in dollars. It's an amazing thing that's been developing.
I perform for fun. So if you can give me fun, I'm in.
I'll give you fun. There's a bouncy castle behind one of the rooms I run. What's up, sir?
I also perform for fun, but the people who come
with
to
that tone of voice.
So I expect to be paid handsomely.
I also perform.
I enjoy having
fun. I like fun.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You can pay me as ugly as you are.
You say you can pay me as ugly as you are? That's pretty fucked up, Matt.
Well, a lot of guys say pay me handsomely, so I'm going to go the exact opposite route.
So, Matt, this is where we stand comedically. You are a very smart comic, to the point where you
those
jump
are your words.
Yeah, fair. Where you jump way too many steps ahead of your audience. See, Matt, because with I pay you as ugly as you are, handsomely.
I'm disgusting.
It's so specific.
I blow. I get it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Matt. After doing comedy for 4.5 months, a veteran like myself needs to. Sorry, can't even keep up the facade.
Well, Matt's the vet on this podcast. He's been doing comedy longer than I have.
Dude, first off, can we take a side note here? Side note here?
This podcast is nothing but side notes.
Do you see the shine off my forehead?
I do.
Yeah, what's up with your hair? Did you get a haircut or what happened?
Not a haircut, baby. It's God's haircut.
It's God's. Aww.
And I accept. I'm just saying, wow.
Just give it up, man. Just shave it all off.
It's coming. We're within 2 years of a shave off.
Yeah.
If it makes you guys feel any better, I got.
Nice as mine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
shut up.
Serge, Jesus. If you guys makes you guys feel any better, I got the Mo Howard, or the 12-year-old boy. However you want to do it. I was so mad at the lady from Great Clips. Oh my God. Serves me right for buying a $12 haircut. And that's with a tip.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, actually, you guys are from Scranton. Your haircuts are what, like $3, and just spit in a jar for them. I don't know how.
I paid $20. I paid $20, and I leave a $5
$20
tip.
with tip.
You say $20 on eBay?
I said $20 and a $5 tip.
18 with tip. So it's $20.
Matt, where do you go?
Heaven. Heaven.
Wait, whoa! Why do they charge you $18 and they charge me $20? I go to the same place you go to.
They must hate you, I guess. I don't know.
Do you go to the one in Scranton?
No.
Oh, that's why. I go to the one in Scranton. It's $20.
All right, this isn't the Scranton Barbershop local. Shut the fuck up! I swear to God. All right. So what we're talking about here is comedy. And last week, I want to get your guys' take on this. I'll tell the story. You guys butt in whenever.
Okay.
So last week, I hosted, the first time I was hosting. I've put on a bunch of shows now where I've just done a longer set, but I booked the whole show and all that shit, and it's been going pretty well. But this is the first time I hosted. I booked this show at a restaurant bar that I played at as a band. I knew the owner was great. He treats his performers very well, and he was down to do the show, so I was really happy about that. But I didn't know what the environment was going to be like. So I get there, and about a day or two before the show, maybe a week, maybe I'm exaggerating, the owner of the bar was like, I have a friend who does comedy. He also wanted to put on a show.
Yeah, yeah.
You already know. I know.
Yeah, I do already know.
I want to stress this. The bar owner is awesome.
Hey, do what you have to do. I get it.
So the bar owner's great. He already has told me. He's like, listen, do the show, book the show. He's like, I got a built-in audience, which is true. I knew that. My worry wasn't that there would be an audience. It would be how into comedy the audience was. But he also was like, yeah, I'll pay all your comics in food and drink. How's that? And then we'll see where we go from there. I'm like, great. Nobody here even gets food spots. That's fucking great, giving people food spots. So I booked the show, got the whole thing booked. And he's like, yeah, I got this friend of mine. He does comedy, and got somebody else from DC. A real, quote, was heavy hitter in DC. And I was like, all right, cool. So I check them both out. Can you guys hear me, by the way? My screen froze.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, right, by the way, boys, if I walk away here for like a half second, don't pay too much attention to it.
Okay.
Well, if you hadn't said that, nobody would have. So thanks. Thanks for that, Matt. Blood out. All right, so okay. So he's like, I got this friend, and whatever. So I looked him up, and the other guy who was going to be on the show. He's like, can they do short spots at the beginning of the show? I was like, yeah, they can do guest spots. It's fine. So I look them up, and they have a lot of mutual friends of mine. So I'm like, all right, cool, because okay, they know other comics. Fine, sure. So I have them on. So then, a few days before the show, I get word that it's the bar owner's friend, another guy, and four other comics.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I've already booked 6 comics on the show.
I've been in the situation where the bar owner's friend wants to get on the show, and it's happened probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
They're always fucking horrible.
Oh, they're the worst every single time.
Yeah, the one time the bar owner literally came up to me and the other comic after the show, apologizing profusely. He's like, "Listen, I went to high school with this kid. I never saw him before. The kid was so bad." And I don't want to just give out distinguishing information, because if I literally name one part of his act, somebody would. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a fuck.
No, don't do it. I'm not gonna name names.
He puts on
You don't
a
have to name
Groucho
names.
Marx mask in the middle of his set, like the eyeglasses with the nose with the fake mustache. He puts that on in the middle of his set for no reason and reads a poem. And the
He should have
audience
been-
just stares at him.
He should have been more like Harpo Marx. Am I right, fellas?
I don't get it.
Am I right?
He's the Marx brother who doesn't talk.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your support. Yeah, so it's going to be 6 comics in addition to my 6, which, by the way, was 7 because I offered somebody else a guest spot because I was like, we only have 6. And so, and Matt, you don't know this. Yeah, Serge knows this. I like to have 5 comics, one doing like a half-hour set, and everybody else doing kind of like an extended 10 to 15 minutes.
How long is the show you're trying to do?
I do hour and a half, hour 45 shows.
You should know. All right. Hey, kudos to you for falling in line for what I believe in. Your comedy show, in my opinion, anybody's comedy show, should not be any longer than an hour and a half to hour 40. That's it.
Hour 40 if something horrible goes wrong.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like happening. So it's been 90 minutes, but because I'm trying to book these, local shows where, okay, so Matt, here's audience, here's the premise. What I do is I try to give people, I'm good at, I can book shows. I've done that forever. So I know how to book shows, I know how to promote shows. So what I like doing is finding comics who I've seen at open mics and at showcases who are good enough to do 15 or more, but specifically 15, but don't have that opportunity yet. Because there are far more people who can kill for 15 minutes than are getting that opportunity.
Yeah.
Do it.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's hard. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of people who are getting 15-minute spots there are a lot of people getting 3-minute spots who have no business doing.
Here's the thing. I'm in the Baltimore, D.C. area. There are so many fucking comics. It is absurd to the point where you can do 3 open mics in a night. Like, it's crazy.
That's how it is in Florida, and like there's a bunch of like really good dudes down there who are like really funny, but then there's a lot of people that you just want to be like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying so hard and they've been doing it for so long, but it's just not happening for them. Like in Florida,
what's wrong with trying so hard? What's wrong with trying so hard?
Because the audience has to sit there and listen to you. If you're a band,
I know, but trying so hard, or trying too hard.
Oh, trying too hard.
Wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, joke bombed. All right, go on.
Yeah, right. It's because I'm stupid. Did he just appear there out of thin air?
More like out of bald hair. Am I right, guys?
I'm smoking. I am smoking a hookah right now.
Oh, okay. I was like, you don't smoke.
That's just. So hold on. So kind of the point I'm trying to make is I have literally seen at this point. I've only been in this for like 5 months.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what you're doing?
Yeah, go for it, Matt. You're allowed to tell me anything you want. Okay.
You're hedging your bets.
What?
You know what I said, Eric?
I heard you. Continue going on. Tell me what I'm doing.
But did you hear what I just said? You're hedging your bets.
Jesus fucking Christ, I heard you. What? Go on. What do you mean by that specifically? And I know what you mean. I'm just going to dispute you in a second, and you're going to feel like a fool, a damn fool.
No, Matt, trust me. I think you're putting people on shows that you think are good, but in the back of your mind know that you're not, and then last second you're being told of people that can do the show that you like better than those guys you already booked, so you're hedging your bet with guys adding in the back end, and you're screwing your whole time con stream up.
As much as I love to add guys into my back end, that's not what I'm doing in this situation. So look, it's actually the inverse. I've only explained half the scenario.
You're being too nice. Then it's that.
So okay. So here's
I can't wait till Eric starts telling people to go fuck themselves. I thought it would have happened already, but maybe around like 8-9 months in, you're just gonna start hating everyone.
Dude, I'm pretty close. There are a couple of comics. So very quick.
Man, wait till you meet the comics.
Yeah.
Very quick. So the whole premise is, and I've seen hundreds of these comics. I have found maybe 20 of about 300 who I think are really, really, really good, and I've noticed that they also don't get that much stage time, or at a time. Because people are doing crazy amounts of mics, people are doing crazy amounts of showcases, but nobody's given anybody an extended set. Right. And so I'm finding the rare person or people, which is less than 10%, but there's still a lot of people because there's so many comics, and I'm trying to give them the opportunities.
The mics are the reason why there's no opportunities. Like,
that's fair.
An audience goes out to an open mic and they see fucking 35 comics doing 3 minutes at a time, and 32 of them suck. They're never going to go to a comedy show.
I'm trying to grab those 3 that don't suck.
That's a little hyperbole right there.
And
which is, by the way, but why both of you...
I do!
Right, by the way, this is why both of you are on this podcast. Because you are 2 of the, 7% of comics that I've come across where I see your stuff and I go, oh, this person's actually very funny. I want to include them in this thing.
Eric, can we just be clear about one thing? You never seen my stuff.
I saw you when Brad had you on his podcast.
Oh, well,
and I thought
you
you were
saw me
goddamn
talking
hilarious.
You saw me talking nonsense.
If you see Matt on stage, you're actually going to be surprised. His podcast persona and his stage persona are 2 completely different people.
Me too, which is why people tell me I need to be more like me on the podcast, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
If you hate myself on the podcast, on the podcast, it's like he's on cocaine, and on stage, it's like he's on heroin.
Are you serious? That's insane.
No.
Just smart punchline, hits the fucking punchline.
I'm calculating on stage.
Calculated, very calculated. He's got the punchline. He's got all his pauses. It's so different. Like, he's so much different off stage and on stage.
I would love to see.
I thought I don't want to take another side note here, but I wonder if that's a bad or a good thing. I'm not sure.
I like you on stage.
All right.
As do I.
One of you assholes has to link me to some Matt on heroin stage.
Eric, there are no Matt films. By design, I can't have Matt films right now.
There's no Matt films? It's your stage name?
He's
just your stage
teacher.
I can't do it, man. I'm trying to be a teacher. I can't do it.
You're trying to be a teacher. So it's not, I know they say those who can't do teach, but you can't even teach, so you're trying to teach.
Whoa! I'm the best teacher in the world. I don't put my name to it.
But you won't put your name on any videos. Gotcha. Okay. We'll put your name to that.
Completely different, Eric. Completely different.
Do you want all your students to smoke hookah? You're a bad influence, and everybody hates you.
Yeah.
Except for me.
What happens when you look at this and they search Matt Cerniak and they go, what's Eric tries too hard? Let's look at this.
And they're like, this guy's fucking stupid. His haircut is dumb. But his guests are pretty funny. I'll be a fan.
It's not even really a haircut. It's
my
just what I have.
cousins in Argentina watch the podcast, right? And they're like, is this like an interview? Like, they don't know what a podcast is.
Yeah.
So they're like asking me, they're like, is this like an interview or what is it? Is it like a TV show? Like, they don't know.
Where is that at?
How many episodes have they watched? Apparently they watch all the episodes, but they still don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, they saw like 2 or 3 of them, they said. And they were asking me what it was.
Where does that happen?
For real, hold on, wait.
My cousin's in Argentina.
Wait,
well,
guys,
I mean,
this is why I can't host, because I can't even host my own podcast. All right, listen. Serge, is
Yeah.
this why I get broken English comments on my YouTube things? Like, I had somebody go, I don't know what this is, but it's good, I guess. And it was like an interview with just one person. And I was like, it's a podcast.
You want
And
to
he
know the
said,
first YouTube comment I ever got?
yeah, what's up?
Some person, it was like right after I uploaded, some person, I had no idea who they were. They commented, I would suck this dude's dick so hard. That was the first thing
That's a
ever
good humble brag.
commented on
Fuck
YouTube.
you.
Eric,
Yeah.
Eric,
You know, my
can
first
we get to your
Matt,
point
okay.
here?
You know,
What are
my
you trying to say?
first.
But it was a
Yeah,
guy,
swear to
though.
God.
But it was a guy.
Well, that's fair. Based on your eyebrows, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You have nice eyebrows. So,
I don't even
that's
get
my first comment, which is similar to yours actually, but not flattering, was "This is so gay I could die." That was the first comment I ever got.
That's hilarious.
Well, that's part of it.
It's part of this whole process.
Are you Eric? Can I ask the question that you're trying to ask?
Sure. What's happening? This is good. I was worried I was going to have to stall for time, but I have gotten through 30 seconds of my...
40 minutes in, brother.
Huh?
We're 40 minutes in.
No, well, we started 20 minutes late. You and I have been shitting about stuff we're not allowed to talk about on air for about 20. So listen, my whole point of booking these comics, I think they're legitimately funny, and I don't, even in the back of my head, I know that they're very, very funny. I have a very good ear and eye for comedy. I'm way better at predicting funny comedians than I am at being funny. That's why I want hipster credit. Listen, I've been listening to like punk music and rock music, all this shit. I've never predicted a band to get big. However, practically every comic I've been like, oh, this guy is amazing, since I was like 14, has gotten gigantic. I'm not kidding you. There's a reason I was into Dane Cook in 1999. There's a reason I saw Kevin Hart years before he got famous and like gushed to him about how he's going to be the biggest goddamn star ever.
Whoa, Eric.
There's a reason I have an old MySpace message that I sent out to Aziz Ansari in 2005. Like, I call this shit. I'm good at picking out people who are funny or are going to be funny.
Eric's really trying to jerk himself off here. That's great.
Yeah.
Who else is going to do it?
Jerk himself
Who else
off.
is going to do it? Eric tries too soft. That's when I've drank too much. So anyway, the whole thing is, I booked these comics, I have the show all ready to go. I've done shows like this in the past, which, by the way, for 2 straight hours or for 90 straight minutes, I've had audiences laughing from start to fucking finish. I can book a goddamn show.
Yeah.
And Matt doubting. I'm telling Matt, hey, I'd love to have you on a show. And he's like, you can't book to save your goddamn life.
You want me?
All right, listen. So great bar owner, never played comedy at his place. I know he's got a built-in audience, but I'm worried the crowd's going to be too rowdy or not paying attention to the comedy, whatever it is. So about a week before the show, he tells me not only is my friend going to perform, friend who kind of checked out, and I looked at him on Facebook, but there's he's going to bring 4 other comics or whatever, 5 other comics. So now I basically have to run a 7-comic, 5-minute open mic before I put on my 5-comic show. So we're looking at 12 comics. No, I know this is a train wreck, but I'm
what I would have done?
What would you have done? Yeah.
Split it up into 2 shows. Do your 5-man show first, and then do their little open mic thing, whatever, afterwards.
And that's definitely fair. I think here's what I thought happened, and it turns out once I talked to the owner when I got there, this is pretty much what happened. I hit the dude up, and I tell him I want to do a show at your bar. And he goes, oh, I kind of sort of remember you from your band years prior. I'll let you do the show. Then he's got a guy who he knows, trusts, and likes who goes, I want to book a show.
Yeah.
So he basically tells the dude, you can throw your show onto the other guy's show. But it's still the other guy, meaning me, it's still the other guy's show. So, which is actually even worse, because and this is what happened the whole night. The other guy was trying to co-opt the show from me.
Wow.
It was like I've been the best man for 3 different people, and the first time I was best man, that guy had another friend from back in the day who was jealous of it, and throughout the whole bachelor party tried to co-opt my role as best man.
Who is fucking... Do I know the guy or no?
No. This wasn't this was one of my groomsmen, but not one of the two that you've met. But
Okay.
he's a guy I'd love to have on the podcast, but he's got 4 kids and he's got his own shit going on.
Yeah.
But like, so anyway, so I get to the show. I talk to the owner. And the owner is basically like, yeah, he wanted to do a show too, and whatever. And the owner knew, like, because I told him right away. I was like, look, that's a lot of comics for the show. I'm not rolling over in any of this. I'm like, we can do it, but it's not. I'm telling you, this is not optimal. Like, this is gonna hurt the show. And he was like, it's cool. We'll just see what happens. So anyway, so the dude gets there, and the dude, he's a nice guy. He does not look like the most reliable human being on the planet. In that, I feel like I could see 18 phantom needles sticking out of his arm when he walked in.
It sounds like you're typecasting there.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think I was the one typecasting. So then the dude comes up to me, and he's like, "Okay, what's the lineup looking like?" And I was like, "Well, here's the lineup. I got all your people going first. You're all doing 5 minutes, right?" He's like, "Yeah, 5 minutes. We're good." And then he's like, "Oh, can we switch this? Can we switch this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's all your people. I don't give a shit."
Right.
And but he's still like, yeah. So then I go to talk to the bar owner, basically like, "Hey, can you give me a free drink or two real quick? I just want to, because I'm about to host, and I can tell." So right now in this bar, it's 2 sections, right? There's the section with the stage. There's chairs and tables for maybe 30 people. It's all packed, plus another 10 people who are standing at this point because they don't have enough seating for all the people on to be in, and then another 70 or 80 people at the bar area, which is like up a couple stairs and to the left of the stage.
Right.
So the problem is, so I get them to turn off all the TVs, all that shit. They've never done comedy here before, and I'm trying to like give them the right ambiance. But here's the problem: is all the people at the bar, the speakers at the bar area, are not hooked up to the PA system, so they're essentially able to be unaware of the comedy show going on.
Right.
So they're just having their conversations. So throughout this entire show, there is a murmur of conversation in the background, which throws you so fucking bad. It's almost like, but they have no idea that they're interrupting anything. I mean, they know because they can see, but it's not like they're trying to talk over.
A lot of bar shows. There's just a lot of people who come in and they go to the bar, and they're just like, I'm just here to drink. You know?
Okay, well, the nice thing about this bar, then, that actually makes me feel better, because the nice thing about this bar is that they don't really interrupt the show, because the way the speakers are, if you're seated in one of the seats, the speakers are right there, and you're kind of isolated from the bar sound. Right. So if you're on stage, it sucks, because you're hearing 70 people's conversations, but the audience, and I didn't know this until after I finished my first set, the audience can barely hear it, because they're right next to the speakers, and they're far enough away from the audience. So it's not bad. But here's where the problem was. So I get on stage, I get everyone clapping, I've got all this energy. I've never hosted before, and my issue is, and Matt, you've never seen my stand-up, I don't think. It's not anywhere. But like my stand-up is always like, it's either angry or like bitter or annoyed, but then me as a host is like this guy, and so it's really fucking hard to transition. And I found it so much easier.
That's the kind of the way you gotta be a host. You gotta hosting and doing your set. They're different. I mean, it has to be, unless you're like a marquee name, and you're just a regular dude. That's the way it's gotta be, in my opinion. That's the way it's gotta be. You might want to hold strong. You might want to hold strong to your ideals, but I'm gonna be the same guy. And I'm going to do what I want to do. But, in my opinion, hosting is just like, I kind of feel like there's a universal way to host, in my opinion. Maybe I'm way off.
I agree.
But that's the way you got to do it. You have to be the energy guy. You have to get the people involved. You
have to be likable.
Yeah, you got to be likable. You got to adhere to like the rules of the room. You got to pay homage to the room that they had you there in the first place. It's tough to be what you want to be, and you gotta just play the role and play the game. And I'm not saying that's bad, but that's the game. I mean,
yeah. Well, that's what. Okay, so that's what.
That's how the world works.
So that's
your
what I
job's
did.
not to be funny. It's just to be likable and to keep the audience on your side. Your whole set.
Yeah, but I'm only doing this to get stage time, so
Right.
I need to just hire other hosts.
I
I do
get
it every
I
other
get
show.
it just, if you want to do a good job, in my opinion, that's the way you got to roll it.
So check it out. So here's what I did. I got up. I was podcast Eric for a few minutes. Hey everybody, energy up, all this shit, blah blah blah. So then I go into my set, and the next time I do this, which is kind of a spoiler alert, because based on this story, you're not going to expect them to ask us back. But but they did. They want to do this monthly, and I'm very happy about it. But so in the future, what I've already planned my current plan for the set list for next month, which is in a few weeks, is it's all shorter jokes and it's all lighter jokes. It's not a 2-minute story about like how miserable my life is.
That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I figured that out. I can transition from Happy Eric into these jokes because they're funny, they're topical, and they're just like whatever. So anyway, so I do my first joke, and it goes over fine, as well as the first, I don't know, there's a murmur over here from all 70 people talking. The people in the crowd are still like ordering food and drinks and shit from the waiters and waitresses walking around. So it's like, but every joke I'm saying for the first 2 minutes is like, yeah, like that kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, this is going good. I'm getting claps. I'm getting all this shit. So then I go into another joke, and I start bombing, and I'm just like, shit. And then by the end, I wind up like getting a quick chuckle at the end of it, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I've done like my 5 minutes. I'm happy. And so then I call up I've got 6 comics that these other people booked, who I'm just like, fine, I'll work around it. So I call up the first person, and they're a no-show. And I realize that as I'm saying their name, that the first person never checked in. And I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, so I made a joke about that, and it did better than any of my actual jokes. And then I call up the next person, who's the guy who booked Needle guy, who booked all the other
He's not in the room.
And he basically runs out as I call his name.
That's fantastic.
And because he wanted to go after the first person, but I'm like, I just have this list of names. I'm whatever. So then I call his name, and then another comic was like, oh, I'll get him. And I made a joke about, I just saw that fucking guy. Where the fuck is he? And that was basically, I'm killing with being a fuck up. Fucking up hosting is working very well with this audience.
Yeah, it's easy money. Easy money right there.
Yep.
So then I call the next comic, who, and I knew this before I called him. This is where I pat myself on the back because I knew to do this. He wasn't even next in line. I called the comic up, who went to chase down the guy.
Yeah.
So then I could make a joke about how it was the guy who just chased down the other guy, and then
that's pretty good.
And thanks. And then I called another guy. So the other guy comes up, and at this point the audience is done applauding. They're like,
yeah,
yeah, not doing this anymore. So then this dude, who again I did not book, bombs for 5 straight minutes.
That's fantastic.
And gets the fuck off stage. So I come back up, and I try to tell a quick joke. I thought I bombed it first until I introduced the next comic, who was the guy who booked all the other comics, and my friends who were at basically the comics table of people I booked, and they were like, dude, that was a great joke. I was like, I thought I bombed, and they were like, dude, nobody was paying attention to you. Like after that, midway through that other comic's set, everybody just like went into their phones.
Yeah.
And didn't come out until I called the other guy. So now, the guy who booked the other comics, he had brought maybe 15 people. Some absurd amount of people.
Yeah.
And they were all hammered.
Nice.
Completely hammered. Which is great. Yeah. So he does his set, and he actually, like, his history, I guess, is he's, like, big into drugs. And he's kind of like one of those drugged out guys. Again, I'm going to say this. Nice guy, no actual issue with him, but that's just the case of the situation. And he does, I have to give him credit, he plays his druggy reality into his comedy voice.
Right.
And the first thing he did was he was like, So I'm like 6 days sober or whatever, which was just funny, like in enough like looking at him and you're like, "Ha, really?" Or,
Yeah.
and then like he like orders a drink, and he basically is like, "If you don't for every joke you don't laugh at, I get closer and closer to having my first drink," and like and again, low hanging fruit, but like great for this kind of environment. I was like, he knows what he's doing, but he's literally saying, poopy ass crack. And the whole crowd is going ape shit. Half of it's because they're his friends, the other half because he's drunk. Now, at this point, I'm like, hey, you know what? If this dude brings the crowd back into comedy after like the nightmare that was the last guy, and the situation, because it's still pretty crazy, hectic of a show. Great. So at 4 minutes, I give him no. You know what? At 5 minutes, I gave him a 1 minute light because he was doing well, despite my perception but despite the complexity of his jokes, he was doing well. So I gave him the light at 5 minutes. I was like, good, give him an extra minute. He acknowledges the light, and it took about a minute before he acknowledged the light. And at first, I thought it was because he was just so whacked out of his mind. But I watched him do that thing where, like, you're looking at if you're watching on the video, you can see this, but just for Serge and Matt, if my hand right here is where the light is, he does this thing. Watch my head. He does this. When he spans the crowd, he goes, that kind of thing. You know that shit when they know they're getting lit and they want to ignore it? Yeah. And so I saw that shit, and I was like, well, I'm in trouble.
Go take the mic from him.
But
I've had to do it.
And I know, and he has the crowd as a whole, and he brought a third of our crowd. And so I'm like, in my head, so the first time I perform anywhere, or put on a show anywhere, my thing isn't, Eric, you need to do well. It's, this show needs to go well.
Yeah, but
because
for the purpose of the show, you can't let a guy hijack it.
He
already weaseled his way on.
I know.
Then he's ignoring your light.
But here's kind of where I'm going. Now that I know the deal with the dude, I'm like, okay, there's no way the owner of this bar is going to look at the two of us and go, that's the guy who should be booking. That's the guy who should be booking these shows. Yeah. So I'm like, so my concern isn't, is he going to take future shows from me? My concern is this bar owner going to go, I'm never having comedy at my club again?
Right.
That's my concern. Right. So if people are laughing, buying food and buying drinks, I'm going to, whatever. So anyway, I start walking towards the stage. I make sure he sees the light, he acknowledges it, and he keeps going. The dude ends up going, he's supposed to go 5 minutes, goes 11 minutes.
That's great.
And I talked to some of the other comics, and you guys can give me your feedback later on, but I'm well aware now of how to handle that situation. At the time, I was just like, shh. I'm standing 2 feet away from him, shining a fucking light in his eye. And anyway, so he gets off stage, and he's also doing the whole thing where he's trying to, like, extra thank the bartenders and the waitresses and the venue and the owner, and reminds everyone that he's friends with the owner, all this shit. So he gets off stage, and so here's the thing now. I go up, and I introduce the next comic. It's another one that he brought. The next 2 comics that he brought, by the way, were good.
Yeah.
I introduced the next comic. But at this point, the audience is like, they're just talking to each other.
Yeah.
There is no show going on as far as half the other half is loving the show, or trying to, but half the audience is just, and by the way, there's a table of 4 people in the back. That's the first comic who bombed. It's him and all his friends just like talking loudly over the other comics.
Oh, that's great.
And then 3 tables of the guy who had just gone up and ran the light like crazy. And it's his drunk friends and family, which, by the way, fine. They're buying drinks, buying food, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's our first time. I'm happy. It's whatever.
I blame the host.
Yeah, me too. So and we'll get to that, Jesus. So we're doing the show. The next guy goes up. The first thing he says, by the way, he's been booked by the guy who just went up, and he's friends with him. The first thing he says when he gets on the stage is, did anybody notice that motherfucker blew the light like 4 times? It's like, you can't do that. And I got to laugh, but I was happy. I was like, good, this guy's got my back. I didn't even book him. He's got my back. And so he does his time, gets nothing, because nobody's listening. I don't even remember what was happening because I was so fucking frazzled. Then the next guy, I go up, I introduce the next guy. I think I did one joke. It got a quick laugh. And then I tried to do a second joke, and it got nothing. And I was like, all right, these people, I realized at that moment, it wasn't that the crowd was just totally bad. It was that I work with ADD kids a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets really bad where they're like, I give them tests. And so I can test them for maybe 4 minutes, and then they lose all focus for like 4 minutes.
Right.
Then, when their focus comes back, I got to get them again and do a little bit more. This crowd was like that, but in 45-second intervals. And I realized that there were certain comics who were having good sets. Because there were another 3 comics that went up, a couple of mine, a couple of the other guys. And some of them did well, at least for portions of the set, including me. I did well for 3 minutes. And then bombed for 4 minutes, and I didn't know why. It was because they were just tuning in and out as a crowd.
Right.
So then, sorry, this is this is where it gets to the good part, and then it's almost over. So I start, I've got the basically 5 or 6 people of the other persons who go up. Then I got my 2 guest spots. Then I do another set that goes in and out, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And then I got 3 people left. They're my people with extended sets that I know are very, very funny, who I really have faith in, who should have gone up about an hour ago.
Right.
But I had to extend the fucking show because of all this issue. So the first one comes up, and I give him 15 minutes. He walks up to the stage, he does maybe 2 minutes of jokes, and nothing's happening. Nobody's paying attention, and he's good. He's working with the crowd. He should have them. He does not have them. And after about 2 minutes, he goes, Eric, how much time do I have left? And I said, as much as you want. Try to do a few, but you can have like 13 more minutes if you want it. And he goes, fuck. So then one of the guy who booked all the comics I didn't book, one of his relatives drunkenly stumbles to the stage and starts trying to have a conversation with the comic on stage, mid-set.
Yeah.
And the comic loses it. Starts ripping into every single person, the city we're in, the art on the walls, the place, and I don't mean in like a fun way, I mean in like a Bill Hicks go fucking die way. And
he's not Bill Hicks.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean, he's just, well, there's some Bill Hicks where he's just cussing people out. And he's just ripping on everybody he sees, like going real fucking hard with it. He doesn't even know it's this person, but he just shits on the owner for like 3 minutes for what he's wearing. Has no idea it's the owner. And the owner looked good, by the way. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. But, so he's going off on everybody. Comics, people in the crowd, drunk people who were paying attention, like waitresses. He's just going nuts. And every couple of minutes, I'll be like, Eric, how much more time? I'm like, whatever, man. And so he's doing all this shit, and at the first 4 or 5 minutes, he is losing the crowd. It's even worse. But he gets them back by the end, because all they wanted to hear about was themselves. That's all they wanted to hear about.
Right.
But he really just burns the fucking house down. People are threatening him. It's great. Oh my god! It was like by the way, the second he left the stage, he left the building and went home. But by the time he gets off stage, he's gone 22 minutes of shitting on the crowd. 22. Also, he ran the like 7 fucking minutes because I kept telling him to get the fuck off the stage. It would have been great. But he went on an extra 7 minutes. But so he leaves the stage. And he's the last thing he says is like, I was just trying to warm you guys up, and I was like, well, I said his name, I was like, blah blah blah, ladies and gentlemen, the only man who tries to warm up a room and ends up burning it down, and still didn't get anything because the second I got on the stage, everyone turned back around and stopped paying attention. It's like, fucking goddamn Christ. Yeah. At this point, I'm like, this is the worst night of my fucking life. Like, I can't believe I did this. And no one's going to want me back. Everyone's going to kick me out. I fucking suck and everybody hates me.
Right.
But here's the beauty of what that guy did. He walked half the room. And the half of the room he walked were the people who didn't want to hear comedy. So then the 2 people who go up next, Mike Moran, who you'll see he's at the Audio Bar show, and a guy named Eddie Lyles, who I begged to be on the show because he's so fucking funny and I really like his stuff and I wanted him to do a full 30. And I was so upset that I was like, their 20 and 30-minute sets are going to bomb because I provided a shitty crowd. But the circumstances led to all of a sudden they have 30 people left in the crowd, and they're people who want to hear comedy. And they had great sets. Mike fucking killed it for 20 minutes, and Eddie did pretty well for 30. Mike just happened to have the best set of the night that night. It just happened that way. Because Mike tells jokes and Eddie tells kind of longer stories. But anyway, they both had really good sets, and hopefully I think they felt pretty good about it after. But it was like, it worked out. But it was fucking the craziest goddamn thing I've ever seen. Like, and I know this is so common in comedy, but like, I've never seen anything like it before. It was fucking crazy. Oh, you guys can interrupt. I have a conclusion, but I wanted to get you guys.
Hey, it's your show.
Well, I know, but you know what? I think you guys did all your interruptions in the beginning, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
So, okay, well then the conclusion is the owner was like, let's do this again next month.
That's so weird.
And he made a great thing where the owner was like, yeah, that guy went rogue. I was like, yeah, he did a little bit. He harassed your dishwasher and your.
Well, now I know I could run the light on you.
I don't give a do
in August.
Well, so Eddie, who's the headliner, who was telling me, I mean, he's like a huge black dude with a very deep voice, so he can pull this shit off better than I can. But he was telling me, he was like, when I host shows and people go over, walk right up next to the stage, and if they're really just not doing it, the second they finish a joke, walk up there clapping, grab the mic, and say, give it up for him.
I did that once to a guy, and he stepped to me on stage, this real big guy, and he like tried to fucking fight me on stage, and the audience was like really weird about it. So when he got off stage, I like made one little joke about him, and the audience started laughing. It was like a release of tension, and he got so mad. And now like whenever he sees me, he's like super condescending to me, and I'm like,
man, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, I'm like, you're supposed to do 3 minutes. You did 15 minutes.
Oh my god.
And then you tried to fight me when the owner sent me up to get you off stage. So what do you want me to do?
Oh man, Serge, I can't imagine who that might be.
I know.
Listen, Matt, relax. We're not all from the greater Scranton area.
It was also his second time on stage.
Right?
Well, so after it all 11 comics got paid, which I know you guys are actually used to getting paid because you're in a smaller town. Oh, sorry, Matt. Sergio, you're used to getting paid, but like, But here's the thing with no matter how I've seen plenty of like bigger shows in Baltimore and DC where nobody's getting paid. That's
the only reason I get paid, though. I don't think people understand this. People in Miami were asking this all the time. Is I refuse to work for free.
Oh yeah, well but that's the thing. This I knew this bar owner was a great guy when it came to supporting his performers.
Yeah.
The guy, and so when he told us we'd get food and drinks, I was like, that's a better deal than most of these people are getting.
The way I think of it, though, bro, is if it's a show where people are paying to get in, or they're buying drinks, or
this is a free show, but they're buying a lot of drinks. Yeah.
There's what the fuck is the word? There's some commerce going on at that show. Of course. Yeah. I think unless you're a guest spots should never be paid. But if you're the host, feature, headliner, anybody doing more than 10 to 15 minutes, you should absolutely get paid. You know?
Well, and the beauty of all this, I mean, he paid everybody, and by the way, he paid everybody really good for what happened and for what they did. He paid people really, really well for the time that they did, and like ridiculously well for the time that they did, and because he had a budget for the show and he paid it out, and it was awesome. And so afterwards we met, and I thought he was going to tell me, yeah, this is not a good whatever. But he was like, no, we should do this. I mean, and he wasn't wrong. This guy is, he says every week they like to bring different entertainment to the crowd they already have. He knows he's going to make a killing every single weekend.
No matter what, yeah.
Like he's got a great bar that he owns, and he's got a great, like, everything. The dude is doing great. Right. And he's a great guy. And it's like, that's why I agree.
All right, get off his dick, Eric.
Well, the last thing I'll say is, I hit up his bar not because it was a bar that I thought I could get a show at. Yeah. It was because he owned the bar. And because I'd worked with him a few times in the past, and it was just like, I didn't even know the guy. I just knew that he had treated me very well for someone he didn't know. And I was like, that's the person I want to be in business with. And so anyway.
Very good.
Yeah. So what he was like, what can I do and what can you do to make this go better next time? Like, he wasn't dumb. He knew this could go a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was saying if we could find a way to he was like, I'll make sure I separate the rooms better so that there's less bleed through with the sound. And he was like, I'll make sure that more people are aware this is a comedy night.
Right.
And that's great. And then what I told him is what I needed. I was like, you do whatever you want. What I need is I need to book the show myself.
Exactly.
If you notice, the people who did well and provided a good place for your audience were the people I put on the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it's not just that. It's that, like, there are so many people. Audience fatigue over 90 minutes is a lot worse when there's 11 people versus 5 people. Yeah. And so I was like, let me just handle all that. I will provide you a good show. And then you were, and whatever, and we talked ways out, and we're still talking about ways to promote and whatever. And yeah, we're gonna do another show. We're gonna keep doing them as long as people come. And it's just like it was one of those and by the way, the people who liked the show, I've done lots of shows where like people at music and comedy where people like are into it during the show and then don't say shit afterwards. I have never had this many people come up to me and the other comics and talk about how much they love the show than that fucking shit show. I don't understand it. People loved it. And they loved the they loved the comics who did well. That's what they loved. And it was like, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, at least you got some good feedback, and it sounds like that dude is super awesome.
Yeah.
The dude who's running the room, so... If you could get like 4 or 5 monthly shows going, like that's perfect because you know enough people. Or even think about the people you know from the podcast, like me, Matt, other like Morgan's local to you, right?
Morgan's going to be on the Autobar show.
Yeah, Morgan's in Baltimore, right?
Yep. Well, he goes to school elsewhere, but he's in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know so many people just in Baltimore, Jersey, you know what I mean, New York, Pennsylvania, just surrounding you, where you have enough good people. To do like a monthly show. I think the only thing is you just need to make sure that you put everyone in the right slot for them at this point in their career. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I'm important. really trying to do. That's why like the people I have headlining these shows are people who are actually doing like well to the point where they're doing 15-minute sets, 20-minute sets. But I want to give them that extra 30 as kind of incentive to be like, hey, is anyone else giving you 30? No? Yeah. Then this is the show you should be telling people about because guess what? I'm giving you a great... And the other places I'm booking, great stages, great sound systems, great photo opportunity, great video opportunity. Right. Like, I'm... Because this place pays... The other places are all just door deals. And the door deals, I'm really just trying to make, like, it's low expectation, but, like, I want to give you the stage time and the venue to make you go... Let me bring out.
You're getting real stage time instead of just going. You know what I mean? You're gonna get so much better by doing these shows.
Oh, and by the way, with the crowds, I'm not unlike every other. I keep seeing, and I'm sure they promote other places, but most of the showcases I find out about are because people are posting advertising to sell tickets or whatever, have people come in groups of comedians.
Oh, that's so stupid.
We're not advertising to comedians at all. We're advertising.
Why would you advertise to a comedian about?
Because they might actually come out. I think that's the problem with like very supportive scenes is that when your audience is just people who are hoping to get booked by you, then it's a problem.
I mean, I would only go to a comedy show with like professional. You know what I mean? Like really good comics where like I'm gonna enjoy myself. Yeah.
Well, the comics I'm putting on these things, giving them extended time, are the ones who have been doing like 5 years, 4 to 10 mics a week, like showcases every week. Like they have so many hours of stage time, but because the scene is so inundated with comedians that only a handful of people get real gigs or real chance to shine. And I won't name names or anything, but I mentioned this to you earlier before the podcast, Serge, but there are people who have the business savvy,
right,
but don't necessarily have the comedic chops, but because they have the business savvy, they're getting these better gigs.
Well, here's the thing with me.
Which people are going to look at me, by the way, if I ever get a really good gig, and I bet people look at me right now because I'm getting these rooms going, right. He's not funny, he's brand new, but he is just a smooth talker to whoever, so that's why he's getting, the rooms and the time.
The thing is, like what you said about people getting like so much stage time and stuff, like it's almost like when people were getting up like 4 times a night, whatever, at open mics, there's like a difference. Because like if you asked me to do 3 minutes, I'd probably bomb. Like it's 3 minutes is the hardest thing to do. Yeah. But to do a half hour, it's so much easier because it's like you could fuck around, you could do a little bit of this, do that. You're so much more loose and relaxed, and you could just be yourself, I feel like. Where in 3 minutes you're just like, hey, listen to my punchlines, and you're just like throwing punchlines at people. So for me, every time I do under like 10 minutes, I bomb. Every time I do like more, I do better. That's just how I am.
How do you feel, Matt?
Eric, it sounds like you have a pretty simple solution here.
What's that?
You got to be a hammer.
All right, what's the hammer?
You got to tell some people no.
Tell them no about what?
Well, you can't be on stage. Nope, it's going to ruin things. Can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Matt usually has like a 3-second delay on the internet. I think he has a 15-minute delay tonight.
No, he's right though. Yeah, you got to tell people, sorry, man, can't do it.
Well,
can't be on the show.
That's where I'm at right now.
You have to break some hearts. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
You gotta be the heartbreak kid, Eric.
Right now, I have 2 places that are pretty much like, unless something horrible happens, I've got monthly gigs. I've got another place where this Sunday I've got my first gig there. I mean, it's me and another person putting it on. The other person has helped me get all this together. So if we put shows on in the future, it'll be together. I love the guy's great. He's my first comic I've ever had on the podcast. But so if that goes well, then great, we'll keep going. I don't have concerns about that place.
Right.
But for these last 2 places, my concern was make sure the venue is making money, and that the crowd, like everything goes as like people are enjoying it. People who come enjoy it. That's it. Fuck myself. Fuck everything else. What can I do to make that happen?
Right.
Bending over backwards. Once I have the green light, and for these 2 places so far I do, I will start telling people like, I've already told people you can't be on the show. There's plenty of time, but because of this weird situation where it was the bar owner and he'd never done comedy and he's having me do the comedy, I bent over backwards. So I take your advice. I agree. I am just now being accidentally defensive because I want to assure to you that I have taken that lesson to heart. And even now,
you're doing the right thing, man. Yeah. Like you know what you're doing. Like I know people who've been booking shows for 20 years that are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like you've got your shit down. Like you're doing. There's a couple things that's gonna happen that you might not be prepared for, but like you know what I mean. But you're doing a very good fucking job, unless you're just completely psychotic and you're just lying to us.
I'm just lying about everything. No, it's the worst thing. Every comedian's like, never book a show with that asshole.
Yeah.
Like
you never even booked this show. You made all this up.
Well, Eric.
I Photoshop all the pictures of like all those different comics into the thing.
Eric.
Dude, Serge, you get down to Baltimore and you go to open the door of the venue and the whole building collapses in like cardboard.
Made of cardboard. It's like a movie set.
It's one of those classic deals, Once you know that you have something good, then you can start being a hammer and dictating what is good and what you want.
For sure. That's what I'm doing with
they need you more than you need them.
Yeah,
like you said, there's a lot of comics.
That's all this is.
With the booking of all these shows, every one of them, except for the one I just told you about, the other 3 venues are all ones where I have another person who I am booking with. Because they're a part of it in one way or another. Whether it's a direct part of the booking the venue, hooking up, whatever, or it's just somebody who I'm like, I want this person involved because the show's going to go better if they are. so but I'm still very strict with them about like vetoing stuff. Like it's like with my bands I've been in. I'm always typically, most of the time, I'm the leader, and when that happens, I'm a benevolent dictator. I need final cut because I think I make the best end decision. But if you tell me something and I think about it, I'm like, wow, you're right. I'm not stubborn to go, no, I'm right because I said it. I'm very quick to change my mind about
You're going to get that with experience and with knowing what's good.
And that's why, like, with these shows I've booked so far, the ones I've booked out and the ones I've booked in the past, are all ones where I'm very proud of the lineups. If anybody ambushes me to put more people in the lineup, that's not happening ever again.
Yeah.
Like, that for real is just not happening.
However, I hope so.
Oh, well, why would it, if it tries to happen again, I just explain how poorly it made the show go. Like, that's what I talked about the bar owner. I was like, if you noticed, the beginning of the show went well when it was me, then it bombed for 30 to 45 minutes, and then once somebody told the whole room to go fuck themselves, and a bunch of people left, and it was back to the people who had nothing to do with the other people who I did not book, then it got good again. I was like, look where it was good.
You basically need to have a hard cap of 5 comics max.
Well, here's the other. I've been doing 5, and then a couple quick guest spots, and here's my rationale behind it. People have been coming. I've noticed every show I've done, people have been trickling in a little bit after the start time, mostly because they're there to see the headliner or the second feature act or whatever it is, the last. And so now what I'm doing is I'm giving people who get no time on showcases, who are only getting open mics, but are making me laugh at open mics. Those are people I'm giving 3 to 5 minutes ahead of the show. So they're getting kind of a shittier audience, but they're getting a real audience. Usually they're just going up in front of 5 comics. Now they're going up in front of, it may only be maybe 5 comics plus 15 regular people. But they're still getting on in front of those 15 regular people, and it's an extra show they're doing. Where guess what? They don't have to wait till 1 in the morning to go on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man.
Fantastic job, Eric.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, Matt, anytime you're willing to make the trek down, let me know.
Absolutely.
I have more.
Absolutely, I'll make the trek any moment.
This is the douchiest.
I want to do it with Third because I'm terrible with directions, and I know I get lost and like annoyed. So I would love to have a guy like Serge, on my, side or whatever.
You hear that, Serge? He needs you by his side.
Yeah,
no, I do.
I like Matt. Matt's one of the few comics I like.
I'm a guy who travels in pairs. That's just what I do.
I like Matt. I could travel with Matt. He's like one of maybe like 4 comics I would actually travel with.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad Serge brought you into our lives, Matt.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So that's and I'll keep letting you guys know whenever. This is so douchey of me to say, and who knows, maybe I'll jinx myself and I'll never get another show again after August. But it looks like I keep looking ahead to these shows I'm trying to book because I still have shows to book. Like I haven't booked all the shows I've been offered. This is the douchey line. I have more stage time for people than I know what to do with because I'm going to run out of comics. And stage time outside of mics is pretty rare down here from what I can see.
Yeah.
So like I'm almost about to start doubling up where I'm like, oh, you're a comic I had on in June at Baltimore. You should play this other city, 30 minutes away in August because I've run out of other funny people.
Because it's not going to be a lot of the same people.
Of course.
And like if you have someone let's say someone does 15 minutes, but they have a half hour, you know what I mean?
Well, I've been bumping people up where my headliners have been specific people who either I think they're fucking amazing or Mike Moran or somebody else who I'm booking with thinks is amazing. Like the Autobar show the headliner is someone I haven't actually seen before other than YouTube, but Mike Moran, who's booking these shows with me a lot of the times, he's like the dude. He headlined my first show.
He's a good dude. I like him.
He's so funny too. By the way, he killed at this shit show that I told you guys about. He fucking crushed for 20 minutes after the other guy burned the room down. He crushed it.
I knew he was the guy you were talking about when you said that during the story.
He did great. But so he'll be on that show, but he'll be on but he told me, he was like, this is someone you need. Jessica Murphy Garrett, who, if you've seen the poster that Serge and a couple other people shared today, she is headlining it, and he's just like, I'm going completely off his vouch because he's like, no, she's really funny. You just got, and she's funny on the 5-minute clips I've seen online, but like, 30 minutes, he's like, no, she'll crush it. Trust me. So like, but the point is, there are people I've had do 10, 15-minute sets who, in the next month or two, I'm going to be asking to headline because I thought they did great. Dude, I'm so excited. And anytime you guys want to come down, I will figure it out. And especially if it's this other bar, where like, because like I said, Serge, I know I'm paying you $5,000 to $7,000 to host this auto bar show.
That check better clear.
Yeah, pretty much. But the money at the other place is also pretty good, and that'll help with your your travel costs and your whatever and all that shit. So anyway, I would love to have you guys down for whatever shows, especially because there's a lot of these shows are built-in audiences, and so it's like I'd rather have somebody who makes the crowd laugh than somebody who brings 10 people. Makes those 10 people laugh.
I'm trying to actually have a couple people come out to Auto Bar because I actually know a lot of people in Maryland.
If it works out, great. If not, whatever. Yeah. I just want you there.
I'm gonna try to invite some people.
Well, that's by the way, the Auto Bar show, because like I said, I got all these venues. The Auto Bar show, that's the one where I'm like, the other shows are like promoted by whatever other branding. My Auto Bar monthly show is Eric tries too hard, stand up, whatever.
Right.
Like that's where I'm basing a lot of like I really want to make those something special.
Right.
And that's like anyway. Oh, sweet. You guys have any fun stories? Any what you guys been doing? Thanks for chiming in with my shit.
Oh, have you been talking for a while?
No, I don't think so. Fuck you.
Oh man.
What's up with your creepy ass house, Matt?
Yeah, what the hell?
Alright, Serge, explain to me why it's creepy.
The lighting is very creepy.
Then you're a weirdo. It's lights. What can I tell you?
It just looks like someone's about to come through that door.
It does. It really
stab
does.
You in the head.
Well, guess what, Serge? People come through doors to get in the building, so I guess that's what just doors do.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta come down to your new place.
At first I was worried that I was talking too much, that it might get boring, and then I let you two assholes talk. So I got doors and how to get into buildings. What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah,
hey,
I gotta come down to your place.
Doors, man, not me.
You two talking over each other was really funny.
What time do you work tomorrow, Matt?
7 a.m.
Until?
3:30 or 4:30.
All right, maybe we'll get a coffee or something.
You know what tomorrow is? In a half hour from now?
What? Your birthday? Happy birthday.
Happy early birthday, man.
Are you a Cancer?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what they are.
No, actually, you're on the cusp. Hold on 1 second.
I hope I fall in some kind of line where I'm nothing.
Don't worry.
Like,
I'm sure plenty of people think you're enough.
Like, I slip in between the cracks like, oh, this guy's nothing. Man, what a dude.
You're a Leo, bro.
DiCaprio, I hope.
No, you're a Leo. I think you're a Cancer Leo cusp.
What?
Sergio, the fact that you know these things, you just dropped the notch.
You can clearly tell by the glare off his face he's looking it up right now.
Yeah, it was. You don't know about astrology, bro? What the fuck?
Matt thinks you have that knowledge on hand.
No,
yeah, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's got to go.
No, I'm very into astrology. I think it's great. I love it.
What's your take on crystals?
Hey, nobody's a bigger space guy than I am. I love astronomy.
You are.
Planets, I'm pro-alien.
Matt, you are out there. You are.
Yeah.
You are definitely out there. By the way, real quick, before we go.
You know who's wow, a lot of famous people got your birthday, man.
Shawn Michaels does.
Alex Trebek.
Shawn Michaels.
Danny Glover.
Shawn Michaels.
David Spade.
I don't care about that. I care about Shawn Michaels here.
Selena Gomez.
Does.
All right, listen.
Oh, the royal baby has your birthday, bro.
That's pretty racist.
You know what? Here's the fucked up thing. Because I think at this point, we've officially gone over to the point where when I download this as an MP3 to put on iTunes, I then have to go convert it to a smaller MP3 because it expands the whatever of erictriesjord.com per file. So thanks for that. That's an extra 5 minutes out of my life that I'll never get back now.
Yeah.
So, okay, so check it out. So before we go, this is just a teaser because obviously we can't talk about it yet.
Okay.
But in about 6 weeks.
Are we getting into the business?
Wait,
just
don't say that.
No. It's just a very quick teaser for anyone who listened long enough to hear all this shit. Hopefully not any of the people at the show that I just fucking talked about. But like so in about 6 weeks, Serge, Matt, and myself, and other regulars on the podcast, Brad Hartland. This other person's not involved other than on a technical aspect, but Ryan Sweeney. And Ben Morrison.
Fuck Ben Morrison.
I love this fake animosity. That's my favorite thing ever. There's somebody else? Oh, Dan Shiraki, who did
he's awesome.
Who did a podcast with me a while back, and potentially between 1 and 3 other people who haven't even come into the fold yet. They might come into the fold when we launch. Not as full partners like we all are, but whatever.
What do you got, Eric? Lay it on me.
So all I'm saying is to the audience is about 6 weeks we're going to launch a website that should be very funny. And if we do it right and you don't listen to this podcast, then you won't even know it's us. Because it's gonna be pretty sweet. I'm really excited about it. But all I wanted to say to tease it was that it's gonna happen, and we'll definitely talk about it late in future podcasts. But I wanted to say to Serge, you owe me some.
I know. I'll do my homework.
But that
tomorrow
the work
you'll have
that
it
you
tomorrow.
have done. Thank you. The work that you have done has been stellar. It's been fantastic. And I also want to thank Matt, because Matt, you have been the goddamn all-star, fucking taking on all roles and just absolutely killing it. And I've told you this online, but I haven't told you it, in person online, or whatever this counts as. But I wanted to just say, face-to-face, screen-to-screen, thank you. You're fucking killing it, and thank you.
All right.
You are a robot. All right. Suspicions confirmed. All right. Well, that's it for the podcast. For anybody listening, this was a fun thing. I hope you guys had fun too. I know I rambled for a while, but this was the God damn it. This was the conversation I was going to have with Serge on the phone had we not done a podcast anyway.
I was thinking about that. You should give me a call tomorrow or something, man.
I want to talk some
Eric,
bits.
you know what? That's something here, Eric. When are you and I going to have a phone conversation? I would like that.
I've talked to literally 2 people on the phone who I'm not related to in the last year, and it's like Serge and Brad.
Right. So when can you make it a solid 3?
I'll tell you what, Matt. Let me send you some clips of my more recent stand-up. I'll send Serge the same thing, and if you will help me discuss it, then I will gladly give you a call and talk about it. We can talk about your personal life and whatever happens in your creepy haunted house. But like this is how much of a fucking I don't think I'm a dick. I think I'm just an adult where I now have to everything I do. It has to be serve a purpose.
I think if you're already labeling yourself a dick, you're probably a dick.
Probably a dick. Fair. That's fair. But that's the thing. It's but I try to wrap friendship into it, where it's I need to talk comedy chops and punch-up shit with somebody. Yeah. Who am I going to talk to? Oh, somebody I really have a good friendship with in Serge.
I've told my girlfriend I couldn't talk to her so I could talk to Eric.
Oh, thank you, Serge. Yeah. But that's the thing is there are people I know who are very funny or even very successful who I probably could harass enough to have conversations to punch it up, but they're not people I don't want to spend 90 minutes on the phone with. Serge, you are definitely one of those people I'd love to talk to.
There's only 2 people I write with. It's you and then literally my best friend who's also a Canadian. So. Yeah.
Well, it's and Matt, I'll happily talk to you on the phone, especially that
I used to write with Matt at a local coffee shop, but he doesn't want to be my friend anymore. I haven't seen him
my gosh!
How dare you?
Haven't seen him in months.
You know, I invited you to the open mic a week or so ago, and
Ooh,
Yeah.
an invite to an open mic.
I didn't
Oh,
go.
sorry, is that a big deal?
no, it's not. But like,
Basically,
you know,
your wedding.
I couldn't
let's
make
not
it.
act like I'm not doing my part in this relationship.
That's
fair.
true. I have been shutting myself off from the world lately.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's all good.
I sounded mocking. I didn't mean it that way. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
joking.
No, to be fair though, I gave up stand-up for like a good 5.5 weeks.
You did?
Yeah, I was doing other writing projects.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a sketch show.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Sergio, I invited you to it, but you had to sell illegal fireworks, so, you know.
They were illegal. They were illegal.
Yeah, asshole. The second I go across the border, every time I go into Pennsylvania, the first thing I see is fireworks shop after fireworks shop.
Yeah.
Also, your roads are garbage. Do you know
Oh,
that?
yeah, they're bad.
By the way, when I go into Pennsylvania, and it says now entering Pennsylvania, there's the Maryland sign. It says now leaving Maryland. Do you know what our little slogan is underneath it?
Shut up.
No. Fair.
Oh.
Or are you just saying that? It's please come back! Exclamation point.
Wow.
Please come back!
Yeah.
Don't leave me.
Don't leave.
And then the governor's name is tagged at the end of it, so it's just like Jesus.
That's
I know the murder rate's up.
Who's your
Just
governor?
please. At this point, Littlefinger.
I don't know who that is.
Watch Game of Thrones?
No.
What are you doing with your life? How do you not have kids and you don't watch Game of Thrones?
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I've
Okay,
never seen an episode.
Littlefinger is basically a guy in Game of Thrones who's like this, like lowborn guy.
I'm over it. Over it.
Is this lowborn guy who keeps rising more and more to power because he's great at playing a game of politics and like dirty politics.
Is your governor Martin O'Malley?
So hold on, I'm getting there. So the same actor who plays Littlefinger is a guy who played the guy Carcetti, the white guy running for mayor in Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's him. The same actor. Carcetti is based on O'Malley, who
That's great.
was the governor. He was the mayor of Baltimore, then he was the governor. Now we have a Republican because we fucked up this past election.
I think Martin O'Malley
Hogan
would have
is
probably
right
won the Democratic nomination in like
That
pre-2004. He probably would have won. He's like a great look, I'm a good-looking white guy, and like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything to really piss you off.
if our world was politics as usual again, I mean, I guess if Clinton wins, it kind of is. But if, like, outside of her, every other contender, even on the Republican side for the most part, because, like, none of those other guys ever had a chance. If our world was still, or our country was still politics as usual, yeah, O'Malley is fantastic at that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great, guys. Super cool.
You don't like talking about
Pennsylvania
politics, Matt?
No.
How do you live in a swing
Why?
state and not give a shit about politics?
Yeah, Matt. What the
What?
fuck, man? I'm very into
Politics are a hobby, and it's a hobby I don't care about.
I
That's fair.
met our current president twice. I campaigned for him. I met him. I shook his hand.
All right.
He was a good man.
Did you give him, like, you know, some M80s while you're at it?
No.
Did you miss a golden chance, Sergio?
All right, here's
I
what
was
we're
in
going to
a
do.
fireworks store for
Hold
4
on.
weeks, and now I'm the fireworks guy.
Here's the deal. I'm saying goodbye, not to
Okay.
you, to the podcast. We
Okay.
can hang on and chat. I'm happy to
Okay.
talk to you guys,
Yeah.
but this is devolved. And actually, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about that. What I give a fuck about is how if this gets any bigger, I'm not even going to be able to minimize it. I'm going to have to actually do some work to get the podcast up, and that's bullshit. So,
Yeah.
it's the Eric Tries Too Hard podcast. Eric Tries Too Hard on, everything. At Eric Tries on Twitter. What are your plugs, you two? Any Twitter stuff or websites?
Surge has the urge. I probably won't be posting much considering I deleted Twitter and Facebook app from my phone because my phone was using too much battery. But Surge has the urge. Twitter, Instagram, website.
What you got, Matt?
I got slapcity.net. That's a good one. And airconditioner.org.
All right, this has been a great episode, probably for me and nobody else. I will catch you all later. Serge and Matt, hang on the line if you want to keep talking. Peace out.